Well, one of the things that I wanted to be able to discuss was community building and how you've essentially built out a brand that allows you to be able to have a lot of opportunities that people talk about, but they never actually accomplish. And you've done it in a way where it still allows you to be able to sleep at night, like you've got your principles and everything else. So I couldn't imagine a better person to be able to bring in, because that's the experience that I want people to be able to have. There's gatekeepers and all kind of things out there where they make you jump through some hoops, but you've always been very welcoming and making sure that if people had questions, if there were things that you could help with, that you would always step in. And those are really the people that I want to be able to have out there. So for all the people that are on the fence and not sure if this is something that they can do because they're that type of person, proof positive right here that you can be that person and still succeed. I want to start with when we had our strategy session, you mentioned that you started the admin bar without a business model in mind. How did no expectations approach your influence to the community development? What was that process like for you?
I'm kind of a ready, fire, aim person just in general. I get excited about an idea and then I'm going to go do it right then. And then we'll figure out how it actually works later. So when we started the admin bar, it was really just for those that aren't involved in the WordPress community. The WordPress community is very strong. There's lots of people there. It's a really cool place. I'd never really been a part of anything like that before. Most people saw other businesses who did the same work you do as a competitor. And in WordPress, it was never really like that. People were very open to share and help and all those kinds of things. So I was very inspired by that. I'm like, I would love to have this kind of community of people as well. So it really started with just me and a buddy who started, we kind of connected. We had similar businesses and we started sharing things about our business, about our pricing, about our complaints about customers, about all these things that, you kind of live on an island when you're running a business. And we just realized that as we shared more with each other and learned from each other's mistakes and took the shortcuts that they gave us and those kinds of things, our businesses just started doing a whole lot better, a whole lot quicker. And I'm like, well, if it works with two of us, how would it work with 10 of us or 20 of us or one day now 11,000 of us?
Wow.
So really it wasn't that there was no plan at all. There was just no idea that it was going to be any sort of business whatsoever. The whole idea was just like, let's get more people together so we can learn and grow and do more than we could if we just sat out on our own.
No, no, that makes sense. When I was doing some research for community building, because I wanted to make sure I asked questions that actually align with some of the things that people might turn around and Google or GPT or something like that and end up getting results. Like I wanted to give some context. So I saw something that says statistics show that only 25% of communities launch with a monetization strategy in place. So that aligns with what you're describing. A lot of people are going in with the best of intentions, but there are that faction that will start in and say, you know what, this is a money opportunity. Those are some that will start the free community, but they quickly have the paid community within it. And then you just have to figure out how to be able to navigate it for those that aren't sure if it's something that they want to be part of. What you created was something different. You found a way to actually express all these different concerns. Like one of the things that I love about it is there are so many red flags to identify and people that are sharing stories that like you don't have to come up with your own. There's always someone there that says, oh, I ran into this. And one of the things I like to tell people is we all serve as examples in life. Sometimes it's an example of what to do. Sometimes it's an example of what not to do. So the community has been really great with explaining, I had this situation, and you can drop something in there and someone will either say, yes, I've been there, or no, I've never seen that before. There's such a mix where you get to see you're not alone. And that's one of the biggest things that I think stands out when it comes to having that kind of support. It's a real community because you realize you're not alone.
Yeah. And we, like all communities, we have a lot of people that lurk. And I think they lurk because they don't think they have anything profound to say. And what I've really come to believe is that we can learn so much from everybody, not just the people who are way further ahead of us in the game than we are, but the people who just started out. I mean, some of the best insights I ever got were from people who, just started building websites yesterday, right? Because they just came with a different perspective and a different background and a different set of experiences and all these things that they were able to frame something or explain something or contribute something from a perspective that I would have never had on my own. Like it'd be impossible for me to have that perspective because I don't live their life, right? And so it's amazing that you can learn so much from so many people. I think a lot of communities start with the idea of like, there's the leader and he's up on stage or she's up on stage and they're talking to all the people and all the people are kind of like gobbling up the information. And the admin bar was just never set up that way. It doesn't operate that way at all. It's all of us kind of in a mosh pit together, you know, sharing whatever we can and whatever helps. And you take what's useful to you and you kind of leave the rest alone. And it's amazing some of the throwaway comment somebody makes that ends up really helping somebody out. And that's just so awesome because it's just full of it all the time. You never know exactly what somebody's going through or what might help them. And us all just having a safe place to share those things is pretty awesome.
It's special. It's definitely special because it's one of those things of what you described. There are the ones where it feels like that person is up on stage and it's kind of like kiss the ring. So you can't necessarily disagree. You can't have that kind of interaction where someone can create a new perspective, where they're able to show something new because you're having that open conversation. Say, well, I do it this way. Well, I do it this way. And sometimes, you know, what do they say? It's like there's this person's perspective, and then the truth. So somewhere in there, you can find new ways to be able to do something and tweak something that you've always been able to do one way, but find other ways to be able to bring things in. And I think that's one of the things that's really, really cool about what you put together.